He's celebrated as a saint, a global symbol of peace, nonviolence, and moral strength. Mahatma Gandhi, the man who defeated the British Empire without a gun, the face of Indian independence. But what if this symbol of peace had a darker side, one that history books chose to ignore, deliberately? What if I told you that behind the white robes and soft voice was a man accused of racism, casteism, and deeply disturbing sexual experiments in the name of spiritual purity? This is not a character assassination. This is the side of Gandhi they never taught you in school. Let's peel back the layers of legend and meet the real man behind the Mahatma. Before he was Mahatma, Gandhi was just Mohandas. Born in 1869 into a well-off Gujarati family, he grew up with privilege. At 18, he traveled to London to study law, returning to India in 1891, eager to start a legal career. But he failed. His first court case, he froze. Couldn't even finish a sentence. He was humiliated. With no clients and no confidence, he jumped at the chance to work in South Africa in 1893. That trip was meant to save his career. Instead, it became the turning point of his life. But not for the reasons we think. You've likely heard the famous story Gandhi, thrown off a train in South Africa for sitting in a whites-only compartment. That moment is often portrayed as his awakening to injustice. And it was, but not the way we imagine. Gandhi began organizing protests. But they weren't against all racial discrimination, they were specifically for Indians. He made it very clear, he didn't want Indians to be treated like black Africans. He called black people Kafirs, a deeply offensive racial slur, and often described them as uncivilized and primitive. In one petition to the South African government, Gandhi demanded Indians not be grouped with the native population. Let that sink in. Gandhi wasn't fighting racism, he was fighting how his group was ranked within a racist system, and that's just the beginning. Fast forward to India. Gandhi returns as a spiritual leader. He wears hand-spun cloth, lives simply, and speaks of equality. But his stance on India's caste system? That's where the contradictions begin. He opposed untouchability, yes, but he never truly challenged the caste system itself. He believed in the idea of Varna, the traditional division of society into roles. He said every caste had a duty to perform, and that Dalits, the so-called untouchables, should embrace their work, especially cleaning toilets, as sacred service. In other words, stay in your lane and take pride in it. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the father of India's constitution and a Dalit himself, rejected this entirely. He called Gandhi's approach a disguised defense of caste hierarchy. While Gandhi wanted to reform the system, Ambedkar wanted to destroy it. And when Dalits demanded separate electorates to ensure fair political representation, Gandhi opposed it fiercely. He even went on a hunger strike against it, forcing Ambedkar to compromise. It was a political masterstroke, and a moral gray zone that's rarely talked about. Gandhi claimed to revere women. He often said women were stronger than men, morally and emotionally. But his actual views? Much more complicated. He believed menstruation was caused by impure living. He discouraged birth control, calling it violence against nature. He believed a woman who was raped had lost her honor, and shockingly once said that such a woman was better off dead. He also encouraged child marriage in his early years and only changed his view later in life. For someone who preached about purity and restraint, his actions around women tell a very different story, which brings us to perhaps the most disturbing part of his life. In 1906, Gandhi took a vow of brahmacharya, celibacy, a noble decision perhaps, but the way he practiced it? Controversial, even creepy. To test his self-control, Gandhi began sleeping naked with young women, sometimes even bathing with them. He said it helped him overcome desire. But these were not private rituals. These women were often devotees, disciples, and family members, including his grandniece, Manu Gandhi, who was just 19. He insisted they sleep beside him, unclothed, without touching. He believed that if he could resist the urge, he was conquering lust. It was, in his mind, a spiritual exercise. But others saw it differently. Psychologist Erik Erikson described Gandhi's actions as emotional exploitation. His close aide, Nirmal Kumar Bose, resigned after witnessing these practices, writing, "It was painful to watch young women used as tools for spiritual testing, but few dared to question him publicly. After all, he was the Mahatma." So how did all of this get erased from public memory? Simple. Gandhi's image was carefully constructed. British officials, Indian politicians, Western liberals, they all found value in his non-violent image. It made him safe, palatable, even marketable. And once India gained independence, Gandhi became untouchable. Not in caste, but in criticism. Questioning him was seen as unpatriotic, even blasphemous. But the truth doesn't go away, it just waits to be heard. Let's be honest, Gandhi was not a monster, he was also not a god. He was a man, full of contradictions, capable of great wisdom and great flaws. He inspired millions, yes, but he also hurt, manipulated, and dismissed others in the name of his ideals. This isn't about canceling Gandhi. It's about understanding that history isn't made of perfect heroes. It's made of people. People like Gandhi, brilliant, flawed, and deeply human. So next time someone says Gandhi was a great man, you can say, yes, but not in the way you think. This was the story of the Mahatma you never knew. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to question the legends we're told, because truth matters more than myth.